You hear me? Can you see me? Can you hear me? If you can see me or hear me, let me see you in the comment section. Yes, good afternoon. God bless you. Thank you. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Funke Olaunipekun. Let me see your comments if you can see me or hear me in the comment section, and we are good to go. Technology has a way of doing its things. All right, good afternoon. I believe everybody can hear me, so we go straight away. Oh, thank you. Yes, you can. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining me today on Leadership Lens Academy. My name is Funkeola Onipekun. I'm the lead instructor at Leadership Lens Academy, and today we're going through our series of courses, specifically goal setting and achievements. Goal setting and achievements. Have you ever set a goal before? Have you achieved any goal you set in the past? I'd like to see your comments. I'd like to see your comments. What's your experience? Thank you very much. What's your experience with goal setting? What's your experience with goal setting? What have you done with goals before? Whatever has happened in the past, I'm happy to tell you that you are in the right place. You will be setting and achieving your goals because you will be doing it right. Whatever error has happened in the past, I encourage you not to, take up your mind from setting and achieving goals. That's what we are designed for. That's what we are designed for. That's why, yes, I can see all the comments. That's what we are designed for. Life is designed to be successful. Success itself is the achievement of goals. Success is the achievement of goals. That's what we are designed for. That's why we are here this afternoon. And like I explained in our inner group, we are not just going to start setting goals. We need to understand the nitty-gritty of goal settings. Yes. So today we are talking about vision and self-assessment. Vision and self-assessment as an effective foundation for goal setting. Over the next 3 weeks, we will be studying goal setting and its achievement, how we can actually set goals and achieve them. And today, specifically, we're talking about vision and self-assessment as a foundation for effective goal setting. Sorry about that. Today we will go through goals. What are goals? Why do we need to set goals? Why, if goal is very important, why are people not setting goals? You as an individual, what has happened to your goals in the past? Then what are values? We look at values, how value influence our goals and its achievements, our vision, self-assessment. We're going to go through all of this today, and at the end of today, so that you can have confidence to set your 2026 and beyond goals and start achieving them. What are goals? Goals are specific, intentional outcome you want to achieve. Like I said, success is the achievement of goals. Our life is designed to be successful. The joy, the happiness that we have, that we express, comes from achieving goals, from being successful. That sense of fulfillment, that sense of achievement. We are not just living our life in circle. We are not just reacting. We are responding to life. We are not just waiting for life to happen to us. We have a blueprint. We are guided. We are not just moving around, not knowing what we are doing. We're confident about life. Life is planned. A life that is not planned is not worth living. A life that is not worth examining is not worth living. So we are not just roaming about. We are not people. We are not like animals wandering around. There is a deep imagination. There is a deep vision. There is a deep capacity, the creative capacity that we have as humans that other creatures does not have. So we are not just going to leave this to chance. We're going to understand what it is to set goals. Goals are specific, intentional outcome you want to achieve. Is a desired future you commit to creating. Why should we set goals? Why is everyone not even setting goals? Why should we set goals? Goals gives us direction. Goals are things that help us to navigate our path. Goals are actually not the destination, but it is what gives us the direction to where we are going. It increases our focus and our motivation. When you know what you want, your energy becomes targeted. You are not just doing everything on your way, you are doing what really matters to your destiny. You are not wasting your time, you are not wasting your energy. Your energy becomes, yes, it gives us direction. Your energy becomes targeted. It helps us to measure progress. It builds confidence because your brain can trust you. You want to trust yourself, don't you? Your brain can trust you that when you promise something, you are up to it. So these are the reasons why we should set goals. It helps us to measure our life, to measure how far we're doing, what we're doing with life, areas of improvement, how much we need to keep doing. And if we don't set goals, we become reactive rather than proactive living. I don't know if you have read this book before, Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. If you have not, I encourage you to list it in one of the books you are going to read this year or early 2026. Life is meant to be lived proactive. You're not waiting for chances. You're not living your life to chances. You're not waiting for things to come and happen to you. You are setting yourself on the stage. And that's what goals help you to do. If you are not setting goals, you will be reactive. You will be reactive instead of having a proactive living. You are at the mercy of other people's agenda. You respond to whatever demands happen on your way rather than shaping circumstances. If you don't plan your life, someone else is going to plan it for you. Yes. If you don't plan your day, somebody else will fit you on their agenda. If you don't plan your life, somebody else will design a plan for you. You don't have to, and you will not have a choice because you are there, you are less busy. And before you know it, 1 year, 2 year, 10 years is gone. And by the time you look back, you're wondering, how did I get here? What happened? What have I been doing? What did I do wrong? When you don't set goals, you underdevelop your potential. Miles Muro of Blessed Memory says the blessed place, the most prosperous place on earth, is not all those beautiful places we know. He said it's in the grave. Why? Because so many people left here without developing their potential, without making use of potential, without living the best life for which God has created them to have. So we must, to develop our potential, to live that life that we have to live, we must, as a must, we must set goals. If you don't set goals, you are reducing meaning. You are not giving your life meaning. You are not giving your life something to wake up to. Much of what makes life meaningful comes from pursuing goals. It comes from pursuing things that matter to us. And when I'm talking about goals, I'm not talking about our career alone. Career is only an aspect of our life. As we move forward in this class, I'm going to show us things that we need to know, things that we need to take note of. Because when we talk about setting goals, some people think it's about money. Some people think, oh, it's about career. Life is more than career. Career is only an aspect of our life and is worth planning, is worth living. So if goals are this important, why are people not setting goals? To be fair, some people don't know how. They have either not been taught, nobody has told them about it, or they have heard about it, but they don't even know what to do with it. And some people think it's not important. In the era of AI now, you would have understand that when you are applying for jobs, there is vision, there is mission, there is goal of the establishment. And so people go to AI and say, write my CV, do this, do that. Goals are not for organizations. Goal is for every individual that want to be successful. You want to be successful in your parenting, you need to set a parenting goal. You want to be successful in your marriage, you need to set goals that attract success in your marriage. The only thing that grows by chance is our weeds. Those are the things that you don't have to nurture. But anything that you have to take care of, you have to nurture, you have to have a specific time point in mind where you look forward to what happened, how you measure it. And most people do not set goals because of fear of failure. I have met so many people that have set goals before, but because it didn't work, something went wrong, they gave up, they didn't continue. Or some people are even afraid of failure. You know, when you tell people, I want to do this, and it doesn't happen, people lose their confidence. So many people stop setting goals because they don't know what to expect. They have set goals in the past and it doesn't work. Some people are just nonchalant, for so many reasons, but I'm particularly here to tell you whatever reason it is that you have not been setting your goals. Either you have set them in the past and they fail, or you have not even set goals at all. Today I'm going to show you how to lay a very good foundation for which you build your goals and then you eventually make it achievable. If the foundation be destroyed, what can anybody do, including the righteous? So until we get right the foundation, the exact thing that needs to put in place before goals are set. There is this thing that is very common at the end of the year like this, and also in the first part of the year, where people bring out resolution. Oh, I want to stop doing this. Oh, I want to start this. I want to lose weight. I want to have more money. I want to do this. I want to do that. And statistics shows that such resolutions only last for a couple of weeks into the beginning of the year. And before you know it, by first week of February, they are vanished. They are gone because the foundation was not established, because the foundation was not defined. So I don't want you to be in that place. So we look at the things to put in our foundation so that when we set our goals for 2026, we are confident that we are going to be achieving them. The first thing we are going to look at today are values. We look at vision, and we also do a self-assessment even before we go to the SMART goals that we have all heard about, that people have tried before and have failed. So what are values? When I talk about values, I've seen people say, oh, I value integrity, or I value hard work, or I value discipline. These are good. But understand that these are basic moral principles that every one of us should have. As a responsible individual, you should have integrity. You should be disciplined. You should be responsible. These are basic responsibility. But today I'm focusing on core values, the principles that guide your life, the extra, that's why we call it core, the core values that guide your life, the things that represent the foundation of who you are, where you're going, and the principle that guides your life. While general values like integrity, responsibility, and discipline are basic principles that every one of us we have, core values are usually different. And this is because what we place value on, what we appreciate more, differs. For example, some people value leadership and some people will not, for one reason or the other. Most people will value family. And again, that comes in different dimension. To what extent do you value family? Is it to the extent that, oh, whatever happens in our home, husband and wife will never live separated? Or whatever happened in our environment, this is what we do. So there are core values. These are meaningful goals start with core values, not ambition. This is not, oh, I want to get rich. There are different methods of getting rich, and there are so many ways with which reasonable core values will not support. So meaningful goals start with values and not ambitions. Your values are your inner compass that guides your decision. They shape our behavior and influence the direction of your life and leadership. When your goals don't align with your values, progress will feel forced. Yes. For example, some people value traveling around the world. Some people value exploring, living in different cities. But other people will value, you know, living in villages, in areas where there are no many people for interaction or for whatever reason. The moment you set your goals on another person's value, on whatever is in trend in the society, and trust me, there will always be trends. We will never get tired of trends. For example, if you live in Nigeria, all you need to do is to be on social media and have data. There was a trend last week. There is another trend coming up this week. Before you know, there is another one coming up next week. You can afford to be playing your life as a tennis in between trends. Your life needs to be guided by values. Your life needs to be in direction with your values. If you have not defined them, if all you have ever had is integrity, discipline, loyalty, diligence, the general ethical and moral values, which are good. I don't expect anybody not to have those. But beyond that, we're stepping into core values. Things like leadership, things like autonomy, things like community participation, impact, things that forms the basis, the things that does not only reflect you but benefit people around you. Because life is designed to be lived in such a way that people around us can be grateful for our life. Our life is meant to be a blessing to others. Your life is meant to be an overflow of blessing to others. But if you are not filling your life, there won't be anything in your cup to run over, let alone overflowing into other people's life. So, what is life if your life is not impactful? You will never be able to live an impactful life if you are not living a life that is well defined by your core values. So when your progress don't align with your values, progress will feel forced. Every time you have to do something, it will look as if somebody is pushing you. It will be difficult. The moment life gets busy, you are going to forget about that goals. And trust me, life is going to get busy. Your loyalty to your goals is going to be tested. When you say, oh, I value family so much, there will be opportunities that will take you away from your family. So what determines your actions? When you say, oh, I value education so much, there are courses that will be so expensive and they will try your loyalty to your value of education. What will you do? Will you be able to make extra sacrifice? This is why you need to set your goals. You need to understand your values. If you have never thought of them before, these are not things you think in your head. These are things you should have written down. These are things that should be documented so that when you get to that crossroad, when you get to that point where life is difficult, when you get to that point where you need to choose, your core values, they come into practice. You are not guessing. You are not doing try and error. You are not living your life on the platform on another person's decision. So, number 2 is vision. Goals must reflect a bigger perspective. As a matter of fact, when we set goals, we are setting we are setting, we are putting things in place that will take us from where we are now to the bigger picture of what we can become. Number one, vision is not a vague wish or dream. When I mean dream, it's not that you sleep in the night and you now saw this. This is vision. That's a different conversation. Vision is not what someone else told you. Oh, they told me I will be great. Oh, they prayed for me so years ago, and they said that I shall. No, that's not what we are talking about. Vision itself is not even the goal. Vision itself is a bigger picture. It's not static as well, because the more you grow, you achieve some goals, you see a bigger picture. Your vision when you are 5 years ago, obviously, if you have achieved some of your goals, will be different now. You are seeing a bigger picture. Vision is a vivid, detailed picture of your desired future. Apart from what somebody else told you, what can you see? What can you see? You have heard about what people told you, but what can you see? What is your own personal vision? Vision is a deeply personal and authentic, is deeply personal. It's authentic to you. It's what you can visualize. It's what you can see. It's the why behind all the goals that you want to set. What is the bigger picture? Going to school in one day is a bigger picture of achieving a big certificate. For example, you are an undergraduate, you are going to lecture, you are attending lectures every day. That's only a part of the bigger goal of becoming a graduate. Maybe you want to be certified as an engineer. Going to class every day is only a part of it. So, what is your broad vision? What can you see? What are you becoming? Because success is a journey of becoming, and you have to be able to define your own success. My definition of success is not going to work for you, and your definition might not work for me, because our value, our visions will automatically be different. So I put it to you, what is your vision? What is this big picture that you can see for yourself? What are you becoming? Vision answers two questions. It helps you to answer the question, where am I going? Who am I becoming? So where are you going? I want to be rich. For what? Why? What bigger picture is that part of? Who are you becoming? Can you answer those questions? As you can see on my screen, what can you see? Can you see spiritual growth? What in your parenting journey, what can you see? What can you see becoming of your children now? They don't look like it, of course. They are only 10 years, 20 years. What can you see of them in the next 30 years? That's the big picture. That's what vision is about. What can you see? What can you see your marriage becoming? What can you see your career becoming? With the way you are going now in your health, the food you eat now, the type of activities you do, what picture can you see of your health in the next 5, 10 years? Will you be proud of it? What about your finances? At this rate now, what will you be able to say about your finances in the next 5, 10 years? Who are you becoming? That's vision. What can you see? Because nobody can arrive as a destination they can never see. It was Zig Ziglar that said, whatever you can't see, nobody can arrive at that future that they can't see. So you have to be able to see it. You have to be able to imagine, broaden your imagination, bring yourself out of every limitation and every mindset that limits you. Bring yourself out of every limitation that makes you feel you are this small. What you see is what you become. So, what can you see? Because wherever you are now and what you can see, that's what you want to set goals on. That's the gap that you want to fill. You might not look at it in the physical now, but what can you see? Because you have to be able to see well. I think it was one of the prophets in the Bible. God asked him, what seest thou? And he said, I see the rod of an almond tree. And there was a confirmation. Oh, you have seen well. So can I ask you, What can you see? What is that big picture of yourself? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Where do you see yourself in the next 10 years? Where do you want to be in the next 20 years? Where do you want to be in the next 40 years? Sounds like a big number. You will be surprised. If you have a vision or not, this year will run over. 5 years will come and disappear. 10 years will come and go. The difference will be the actions, the things that you have done with your life. That will be your results. So, what can you see? And vision is not just about career, vision is holistic. Vision is holistic. Your life is not career based alone. Our life is divided into many aspects. You talk about parenting, you talk about marriage, even as a single person. You talk about your spiritual growth, your physical development, your health, your education, your finances, everything that surrounds you, every aspect of your life. In our community, we are going to provide a workbook that will help you to understand this concept one after the other, that will help you to build up on this concept. We're going to give you a workbook that will help you to see and to walk you through how to achieve all of these things so that they don't just look too vague or too big for you. And if you're just listening to this type of thing before, believe me honestly, you will need to hear it over and over again for a clearer understanding. And that's absolutely fine. The law, when you are designing your vision, we talk about the law of time perspective. The longer, the better. There is a law called the law of time perspective. And what this law talks about is that the longer you consider in designing your vision, the more effort and more successful it becomes. For example, if you're planning for 10 years, you are better off having more chances and more success rates than somebody who is only planning for 10 months or even 10 weeks. So there are more things, more effort, more things to consider, a broader perspective to do. So when we are setting our visions, when we are writing our visions, we're going to be writing minimum of 5 years vision. We're not just living for tomorrow alone. We are living for a longer period of time. A life that outlive you, a life that doesn't cut you unawares. We'll be writing our vision for 5 years, for 10 years, for 15 years, for 20 years and beyond. You see, years ago, I used to be like that as well. Because to be fair, nobody taught us this thing growing up today. Life is meant to be lived daily. And then one of my mentors in a session said, imagine going to a football club. You pay for tickets. You join the World Cup. You find a nice seat. And you got there only to realize that there were no goalposts in the stadium. And everybody was like, what would they be doing there? That's waste of time. He said, yes. If you ever live your life without setting goals, he said you are playing football without a goalpost. He caught me. You understand why now? Because as at that time, I don't have any goals written down anywhere. This is Pastor Sam Adeyemi many years ago. So I went back and I began to design my own life in my own little way. The very first time you start is not going to be perfect. But by all means, put it into writing. Write your 5 years vision. In our community, we're going to give you guides and how to write all of these things so that it becomes easy for you. Where can you see yourself in the next 5 years? Even if you are somewhere now, all the money in your account is not up to 5,000 naira. But can you envision, can you see yourself being in that place where you are not just only rich in resources, in money, but you are rich in resources? You are valuable. You become so valuable that you have developed yourself. Can you see yourself in the next 5 years? Can you see a better and a higher version of you? Can you see that almond tree at all? Can you see something good coming out of you? That's vision. And we're going to be doing a vision board in the course of the week. Because what you see, what you hear, put your life on autopilot. Take, for example, if you want to buy a red car or something, or a particular product, you must have noticed from the time that you make up your mind, I want to buy a Mercedes Benz, so. Every time you go out, what happened? That's the type of car you will see. The color that you want is what you will be seeing. Why? Because you have sent a signal to your brain that that is the next thing. That is what we want to do next. That is our next priority. That is how life is designed. That is why you will listen to a song randomly at a park. And when you get back to your own house, the song keep playing in your own head, in your memory. Why? It's been registered unconsciously. So we will do a vision board this week. Before we start writing goals, it's not just to rush and say smart goals. It's specific, it's measurable, it's achievable. We will get there. But if we don't get the foundation right, I'm afraid the vision, the goals will not work. And the next thing we need to do is to do a self-assessment. Because once you write your vision, maybe in 5 years from today, you will be 35 years. For example, if you are 30 years today, you will be 35 years. What kind of marriage can you see yourself having? Maybe by that time you will have children 10 years. What can you see your children doing? What type of salary will you be earning that time? Have you thought about it? Maybe you are earning 100,000 per month now. 5 years time, will you still be earning 500,000 per month? Have you look at the big picture? 5 years from now, will you still be praying 5-10 minutes the way you are doing now? Will you still be in that place where somebody has to still force you to read a book? Somebody will still have to force you to pray. Somebody will still have to force you to do this, to do that. Can you see yourself? Can you see a bigger picture of the big thing that can come out of you at all? So once you write that vision, the next thing we are going to do is to do self-assessment. This is where most people fail. This is where most people set themselves up for failure. Because it's good to dream, it's good to travel in your imagination. But when you open your eyes and see the picture of who you want to become in the next 5 years, you also need to be able to say, this is where I am. So we're going to carefully assess every aspect of our life. We are going to realistically, there's something we say in a community I belong to, naked and not ashamed. This is not for judgment. This is not for self criticism. Oh, who will help me now? If not my parents, all those judgments, all those regrets, all those invaluable comments we pass to sabotage ourselves, to reduce ourselves to nothing. No, self-assessment is not about that. Self-assessment is about looking into the mirror, see where you are now, and comparing it to where you want to go to. Because we've written our dream, our hope, the person we are becoming in 5 years as a fresh graduate now. In 5 years, you're no longer, you're no longer a new graduate. You now have 5 years of work experience. Maybe you now have family. Maybe the business you are starting at the back of your house now is now big and doing international business. Can you even see big figures? Can you even think about figures? So you're standing now to assess yourself. Where am I? Where do I want to go to? There is going to be a gap. If you can see my screen right now, self-assessment is where you are right now. And on the right is where you want to go, the vision, the big picture that you have, the person you want to become, the success that you have defined based on your own values, based on your own vision, the person that you want to become. You are single now, you don't have a job, you are still scotting with somebody, but in your own vision and picture, what you have seen by the help of God is that in the next 5 years you will have a happy family, is that you will have children, is that you will have built a multi-million business if your mind can capture the figure that you have become an international relevant person. But where you are now, there's going to be a gap. There will be knowledge gap by the time you do a realistic assessment of yourself. There will be knowledge gap. There will be skill gap. There's a difference between knowledge and skill. I hope you know. Because most times we don't even know what we know. Thanks to the developed world now, technology and everything, knowledge is everywhere, but skill is still not everywhere. Because it is when you practice your knowledge, you put it into action, your knowledge. In fact, some of us, what I'm saying now is not new to us. We have mastered the art of learning. You jump from this masterclass to that masterclass to that one. In fact, you will even get to another masterclass. Somebody that they invited to come and teach you there, you have done their own paid class because you have not been skillful with the knowledge that you have gained. So you are going to see knowledge gap. There will be skill gap. There will be resources gap. For example, if you don't have a job now, and in the next 10 years, you want to be in a multi-millionaire business, that's a wide resources. And when I mention resources, I do hope that your mind did not go straight to money. Money is just one out of the resources. There are people and resources. Environment is a form of resource. Relationship is a form of resource. The group you belong to, the people you meet, they are resources. So when you let your mindset be so much open, be open to think. And when you hear the first thing resource, let it not be money. That's only one of the tools of life. There will be network gap. Maybe the trade that you need to do, the picture of what you can see yourself doing, is not what you have now. There was a time I used to be a pediatric nurse and I wanted a change. I want to be in research. I want to study cancer research because I've seen my future of being able to provide cancer care, cancer therapy, cancer research to people. And I realized that there is a gap. So I set goals, to travel in that direction. When I needed to do this, there was knowledge gap. I knew nothing about cancer research. There was skill gap. There are things about chemotherapy. As at that time, I have not been administering chemotherapy before. There are also resources gap. So this is not about you. This is not making you feel small, but this is you looking at the mirror and telling yourself, how do I need to get from here to there? There is a place called there, a place of destiny, a place of impact, a place where you can live a meaningful life, a successful place where people can live because you live, a successful place where people can benefit from life because you exist, a place where father children, motherless homes children can call you blessed. There is more to life than this. I buy a car, I build a house, I can send my children to private school. Come out of it. There is a journey ahead of you. You are here to bless life, to live a life of impact. That's what we are talking about. And so there will be a lot of gaps. There will be habit gaps. You know what? What brought you here will not take you there. Whatever skill now that you have that brought you here to whatever you are doing right now, the big money that you are earning right now, whatever brought you here is not going to take you there. There are some habits now that you will need to drop because they are not going to take you far to the promised land. Can you see it? It's like you are just getting admission as an undergraduate to the university. What brought you that admission is that you pass JAMB, you pass WAEC, or other GCE exams that they are doing in your own community and nation. You have passed it. Congratulations. But do you know that it is not your WAEC results, it is not all those A-level exams that you pass that will give you the graduate certificate. You will now be exposed to new courses. If all you have been used to before is going for chemistry class once in a week, this new course, this new environment might mean that you will be doing night class. It might mean that lecturers will schedule lectures at odd times. It might mean that you will do test and assignment. It might mean a lot of things. There will be a habit gap. There will be values and belief gaps. Like we mentioned before, there are some values that needs to be in place before you can be the person you are seeing in the vision that you have written. If you are not a person that value excellence, there is no way your future will speak excellence. So even if excellence has not been part of your value now, the time now it is to write it down and begin to practice it daily. So when we do this self-assessment, these are the likely gaps that you will see. And I want you to be honest with yourself. Because once you don't do a good assessment, it's like as a fashion designer. Imagine doing a wrong measurement. What will become out of that outfit? Anybody in the comment section? What will become out of that outfit? It's going to be a mess. So now we are doing measurements. We are taking data. You have gone to the hospital now. You are giving your signs and your symptoms. They are testing you. They are checking everything that is going on so that they can give you the right prescription. This you will have to do for yourself, and I'm begging you to do it and do it well. Do a thorough assessment. Be real and realistic to yourself. So by the time you are able to do this assessment, you are able to understand the place of your values, the place of your vision, where you want to go to, and you now do a self-assessment of based on this is where I am and this is where I want to go. What are we going to do? That's when we can start talking about SMART goals. Our goals will be based on the difference between our here to here. Our goals will be based, we will now be setting goals based on where we are to where we want to go to. We're not just going to set goals vaguely. We are not just going to set goals picking on what is going on in town. Everybody is traveling out now. Japa. Me too, I want to japa to go and do what? If it is part of your bigger vision, why not? But make sure that it's coming out of your value. It's reflecting your purpose. It's connecting to the inner person and inner being that you are becoming. So it is at this point that we can now start talking about SMART goals, which is what we are going to be dealing with next week. We're going to now to be talking about SMART goals and timelines, the weekly actions to put in place, the actions, the habits to let go, the accountability system. We are going to be anticipating what are the likely things that I can face that can disrupt me or not prevent me from becoming the person I want to become. That's when we can start talking about goals. So far today, we have been talking about what goals are. Being able to tell you that goals are the things that you want to achieve, things that you are committed to do, and that we can't achieve any goals if we have not examined our values, our core values, the principles that guide our life, the things that reflect the person that we are. We also talk about vision, the bigger picture of who you are becoming, the life of impact that you want to live, one step at a time. And we talk about identifying the differences between these two levels, where we are and where we want to go to. And so with that, we can start talking about how to set our goals. Because by the time you do a thorough assessment, you will identify the gaps. That's the goals that we will set. You will identify the knowledge that you need to learn. That's when we will now set goals. Next year, I will go and learn tech knowledge so that I can do this, so. That's when you can start putting things in picture. So if you have ever set goals before and they fail, go and look at them. It is either they are not reflecting on your values. People run after career, people pick up something. Oh, people are now moving to US now. And you too, you quickly pack your bag and you start preparing to go to US without you looking at the bigger picture. People run so much so far that eventually they realize that they have climbed a ladder to the top only to realize that their ladder was leaning on the wrong wall. It's not just about going to the top. It's about going to the right tour, the one that fits your life, the one that fits your person, the one that fits the person, the success you have defined for your life. Goal settings help you to come out of the crowd. It helps you to define what success means for yourself. Success does not have the same definition for everybody. That's why you see people who have been successful, they have climbed the highest ladder in their career, but when they go back home, they are sad because family is no longer there. But deep inside them, they value family. But because they have climbed the wrong ladder, they have sacrificed their family at the expense of their career. Now they have the career, they don't have the family. We're not talking about that. Our goals, our values, our vision, we cover every aspect of our life because life is not about career alone. Life is not about marriage. That's why you see people, once they get married, every other person, they fling them away. And before they realize, when challenges of life come, they have nobody to turn to. No, the aspect of our life, we are going to examine it. Your spiritual life, your personal development, your finances. You're going to do a thorough assessment because you can have good relationship and be poor. The voice of a poor man is not hard. Nobody will listen to you because a time will come, you will need money to maintain all those relationships. What is relationship without money? Every time they say, oh, Sister Lagbaja is doing something, let us go and greet her, let us go and visit her. And you now start saying, my purse, my. No! Every area of life must be balanced. Or you want to be a prophetic person, you want to work in high realms of life, but you are not doing anything about your health. They talk about food, you say, they talk about that one, you say that one, you say we are overcoming territory for Jesus. Which territory are you going to overcome without good health? So goals, visions is not just one aspect of life. It's about achieving that balance all through the areas of our life. And in our workbook, there's something we have designed that has to do with the circle of life, a wheel of life. That's a big circle divided into different aspects of life where you can examine yourself. That's what the scriptures ask us to do. Where we examine ourselves, where we write the vision, and we will run with it. On this note, we're going to stop this week and continue in the community. We'll provide worksheets, and every day of the week before we meet next week for the next webinar, we will guide you through using that worksheet. Because it sounds like a lot. Some people will get it once, others will have to listen over and over because we are coming from different areas. But the goal is to get it and do it right. Have I got any question in the comment section? I'll leave us a few minutes to answer questions, and in the absence of questions, we might be calling it a day this afternoon, and we'll go back to the community. Remember to share with your friends, to follow us on social media, Facebook, on TikTok, or on YouTube. Remember to subscribe to this channel as well, so that every time something come up, you are able to be part of this. Thank you so much for joining me. Look out for the worksheet in the community. Ask your questions. Life is not meant to be done alone, no. And life is meant to be a successful journey. You won't walk alone. You will not fail. That's if you plan. That's if you set your goals. That's if you allow your mind to imagine, to see a big picture. What sayest thou? I see prosperity. I see success. I see peace. I see you living a life of impact. I see you coming out of lack and want into that life of abundance. I see you being called blessed. You know the story of Mary, just a tiny, small virgin becoming somebody that generations continue to be called blessed. And she said, as from now, all generation will call me blessed. What about you? Because all generation will call me blessed as well. Thank you so much for joining me, and we will continue in the community. Bye.